questions.
First, thank you, Chairman Peters. First, my heart goes out to the Enzi family, to Diana and the children, the grandchildren. It's tragic what happened to Mike. What a wonderful person and what a great senator, and he's a mentor to a lot of people. So, Secretary Mayorkas, thank you for being here today, and thank you for your service. The first thing I'd like to say is I'm really surprised and actually disappointed that you've not been more vocal about what's going on in Cuba. I can show you a couple. You probably know this, but these are pictures of protesters being mistreated by the Castro regime. We know that over 500 dissidents have been detained and they're being tortured. I met with one of the families yesterday, and I think you have a role as Secretary of DHS to be more vocal on this, and I'm disappointed you haven't. The Biden administration has blamed root causes like poverty, violence, and climate change in Central America for the border crisis. You said in a statement released by DHS March 16th regarding the situation at the southwest border that the United States needs an all-of-government effort to not only address the current situation on our southwest border, but to institute longer-term solutions to irregular migration from countries in our hemisphere that are suffering worsening conditions. On May 7th, you went to Donna, Texas, where you said we must secure the southwest border by addressing the root causes of migration. Then you were here on May 13th, and you said the most sustainable solutions to our challenge at the border include addressing the root causes that drive people to migrate in the first place. Root causes, I think we can all agree, refer to instability in Latin America and the dangerous and ruthless dictatorships that perpetuate oppression and force their citizens to flee in search of a better life. If we think about root causes, we have to also talk about Cuba. Cuba is the root of instability in Latin America. According to Southcom, the three nations most receptive to malign influence that open the door to bad actors in the Western Hemisphere are Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. On May 21st, Secretary Blinken renewed a Trump administration decision classifying Cuba as a country that is failing to cooperate with U.S. anti-terrorism efforts, certifying it a state sponsor of terrorism. The Biden administration cannot tackle the root causes of instability and violence in our hemisphere by neglecting the real threats of regimes like in communist Cuba. Cuba props up other anti-democratic regimes like Ortega's Nicaragua and Maduro's narco state of Venezuela that incite disorder, instability, corruption, and unrest across the region. Cuba supports drug and weapons trafficking and transnational criminal organizations. Totalitarian dictatorships like these in our backyard only multiply our regional security challenges and hinder any change toward democracy. Communist Cuba is a threat to our national security and a horrible human rights violator. The Cuban people are suffering. I've talked to families all across Florida. They're talking about the atrocities that are happening to peaceful protesters. Their children are being taken to serve in the military, and I know dissidents and their families, and these dissidents have been arrested and detained, and they know they're being tortured, but they have no idea where they are. I met with Jose Daniel Ferrer's brother, sister, and daughter yesterday, and they have no idea what's happening to him right now. So first, Secretary Mayorkas, do you agree that the illegitimate communist regime in Cuba is a major cause of the instability in Latin America, helps drive the violence and illegal activity that causes these families to flee their countries, and is a threat to our U.S. national security?
Senator, as you'll be able to hear, there's a fire alarm in the Department of Homeland Security's building in which I am currently resident. I did hear your question. I hope you can hear what I am saying, and then I will need to step out for a minute, and I'm very, very sorry for that. I will take to heart your comment that I need to be more vocal about what is going on in Cuba. I did speak publicly about that, and of course, our president, our Secretary of State, the president's national security advisor, has spoken very powerfully on this subject as well. It is something of tremendous personal importance to me. My family lost everything as a result of the communist takeover of Cuba. The authoritarian regime in Cuba is responsible for the repression of the Cuban people, and we stand with the Cuban people. I'm afraid I'm going to have to step out, and I will return as quickly as I possibly can. I'm so very sorry.
That's all right, Mr. Secretary. We'll take a brief recess until we assess the situation at the Secretary's location.